to sit back and check out the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. Get fun, in-depth coverage and analysis from the latest in professional wrestling in AEW, WWE, NWA, Impact Wrestling, or the world of entertainment. From big TV shows to your favorite sports like the NBA or NFL. All things music, movies, and beyond, while trying to make sense of this crazy world we live in. All while keeping it honest, insightful, and interactive since 2011. And now your host, live from the nation's capital of Washington, D.C., Lee Sanders.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Lee Sanders back with you all for this Monday night edition of the RCWR show for this Monday, November 10th, 2025. How you guys doing? Hope you all had a fantastic weekend. I cannot complain too much at my end. It has been relatively busy. It's been a relatively busy weekend. I have been working on assignments left and right. I literally earlier today, just by a couple of hours, I got done doing about 8 pages for one of my upper level classes, sociology. I had to do basically the sociological effect and fundamental cause theory. For those of you that are into your sociology, psychology, and all that, you all know exactly what I'm talking about. So I had to do about 8 pages of that. And by the time I got done with all of that, it dawned on me, oh, snap! I got to get ready for Chloe's birthday. So one of my Yorkies, Chloe, she now turned 4 years old. So in human years, that now means that she is 28 years old. So she's kind of interesting today. She just wanted to take it easy. I got to tell you, I was trying to give her favorite foods for her birthday, and she just was like, nah, I'm good. She reluctantly had breakfast. You know, lately she's been kind of doing what else she got. So I give her 2 different plates of food. I give her fresh pet, and then the other plate, it's pedigree. So it's pretty much, which one do you want? And I think earlier today when I was serving her breakfast, it was kind of one of those, well, I really don't want either, but if I got to choose, I guess I'll go ahead and I'll have the fresh pet. So it's kind of one of those deals. But no, she just has been wanting to kick back, chill, relax, and everything. And Tams hit me up earlier. She was like, hey, I'm getting off work. I'm going to stop by Harris Teeter and see what I can find for Chloe. I said, okay, great. Originally, I did not plan on doing a show tonight. And then I totally forgot that John Cena actually was going to be appearing tonight because it is the Last Time Is Now tournament. Officially, it's the start of it. I was like, oh, damn. So, but you know what? It pays to have a understanding wifey. She totally understood. She was cool. Most importantly, Chloe kind of seemed like she just was in that chill mode. Once she got her little treats, little birthday cake, she got her little toy, she pretty much was in chill mode after that. So that actually kind of worked out pretty good. Sound off, let me know what you thought about tonight's WWE Raw. So we're going to do like we did last Monday, where all we did was we went about an hour strong just talking about Raw Fallout. And that pretty much was it. I was supposed to actually do a bonus show for you guys, but the totality of the classwork has been kind of catching up to me. And this week, now things are just starting to ease up just a little bit, but not by much. But we're going to do another hour-long show tonight, mainly focusing on Raw. I will definitely circle back later on in the week and we'll do a bonus show for you guys. We'll go all over the place. Now, look, before we go any further into tonight's show, quick programming note, and this is a major, major one. Make sure you guys mark this down on your calendars because I want you all to definitely come on by, be part of it, say hello and everything. Mark it down. Friday, November 21st, 2025, 8 p.m. Eastern. So you know how you can remember that? SmackDown comes on. That's how you can pretty much remember that. I'll be on at 8 p.m. Eastern. It'll be our 14th anniversary show. That's right. We're going to be celebrating 14 years of the RCWR show with Lee Sanders. I'll definitely share some fun memories, got some fun stories. Also give shout outs to folks that's helped along the way during the 14 years. We'll also sprinkle in the latest in headlines and more. We'll have a few people that'll stop by. I know Tam said she wanted to definitely pop up and hang out for a little bit. So I'm still ironing out everything as far as trying to see, because like that's a Friday night, right? That's a Friday night, and but we'll see who all might be able to pop up and all that. But mark that down, the 14th anniversary show, Friday, November 21st at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, John Cena gracing us with another appearance on Monday Night Raw as he came to us live from Boston, Massachusetts. And I got to tell you, are you guys getting a little bit annoyed, a little bit perturbed at Triple H kind of being the centerpiece of all these like major little moments and everything? I mean, at first I just thought that some of my friends in the podcasting world were just being a little bit too critical, but now I'm kind of just taking a step back. You're just kind of reclining a little bit in my chair, and I'm just going, man, it sure does seem like Triple H has got to be in on just every single little damn thing here, huh? So what I mean by that, for those that didn't watch Raw tonight, we had Triple H open up the show, and I wasn't sure what direction Triple H was going in, because he was talking about, hey, we all have a matter of opinion. It's a difference of opinion. And I mean, he just kept going on and on and on. And I'm just going, man, this feels kind of political here, especially considering we saw the president at the Commanders, what was it, the Commanders Lions game from the other day. And that was just, oof, boy, did he get eaten alive by the crowd there in attendance. That's a different topic for another time. But no, I wasn't sure where Triple H was going. And then I just said, well, hopefully he's setting up John Cena. Hopefully this is nothing more than a great introduction of John Cena. And sure enough, he was milking it to the extreme and hyping up and putting over John Cena, and rightfully so. But there was just a part of me that just couldn't help but go, is this really coming from a place of sincerity with Triple H, Paul Levesque, or is this coming from just, because I just couldn't help but wonder how much of that pride did he have to swallow just to get all of that out there, Like how much of that? I was really expecting a swerve too. I was getting ready for him to say Dwayne the Rock Johnson, just the way he just kept building it up and building it up. I thought we were going to maybe get some type of shade there on Cena, but it didn't go down that way at all. John Cena coming out there, great heroes ovation from the crowd. Good feelings I just had all the way around, and feeling a little melancholy at the same time, knowing that we are definitely near the end. Less than pretty much a month to go until we see John Cena that one final time. I can promise you this: it will be debuting for one night and one night only. But when John Cena has his retirement match on Saturday night's main event, I have, I've never worn it. I have a John Cena hat, a Last Time Is Now shirt, wristbands. I have purchased all of that. My God, it feels like I purchased it all maybe a year ago now. I've got to circle back and see when I ordered it, because I have my WWE shop account and everything. But you know what? I bet you if I just asked the wifey, yo, do you remember when I purchased it? She's got a better memory at that type of stuff than I do. She's probably going to tell me, oh, yeah, you purchased that fourth quarter of last year. I bet you she's going to tell me that. But I'm actually going to debut my John Cena gear for the right occasion. Like the history of this show, I have never, ever, ever worn John Cena merch. So it will be the one and only time that I do so. Because this is his final match and everything. It's going to be happening from right here in Washington, D.C. and all that. So I'll definitely be representing without a doubt. We'll be live too, right here, like we usually do. We'll be live. I think maybe we'll have a special call-in joint as it gets closer. We'll probably have a little call-in joint for people that if they want to call in, sound off on what they thought about the event, especially like particularly if they were live in attendance. Try to see if we get some people that can call into the show and all that. Dominic Mysterio coming out, interrupting the special moment that Cena was having with the crowd. And I can't really speak for you guys, but I kept going, is Triple H still in the ring? Is Triple H still in the ring? Because if Triple H is still in the ring, okay, he's in there for very good reason. Maybe we're going to see a match get set up here somehow. And sure enough, we did. Dominic Mysterio coming out, insulting John Cena, pretty much telling him, yo, roll out of my ring. Let the grown folks here talk. Because Dominic wanted to talk about the disrespect that came to him from his deadbeat dad, Rey Mysterio, and wanted to know what Triple H was going to do about it. Like, first of all, that's what Adam Pearce is for, but, whatever. Triple H is pretty much right there and everything. Next thing you know, somehow this bleeds into a match that is set up by Triple H where Dominic Mysterio has to defend the Intercontinental Championship against Cena. Look, I believe it was maybe Dave Meltzer, but even before that, there was a couple of little chatters on social media saying, John Cena could be getting that IC title off of Dom Mysterio. And when some people really took a step back and thought about it, it was kind of like, well, that really doesn't make sense, like at all. And okay, well, if Cena is going to get this championship, who's that final opponent going to be that's going to get the championship off of him? Like legit, who legit is going to get it off of him? We may have some ideas. We'll talk about it in just a hot little bit and everything. But yeah, that Intercontinental Championship match, Dirty Dominic Mysterio defending to John Cena. My only gripe about this match that we got was the fact that we didn't see the match from the very start, because right when we had a referee come in, we get a commercial break, and then when we come back, we see John Cena. He's pretty much been getting his ass handed to him by Mysterio. Apparently, there was a cheap attack from behind and everything. Pretty solid matchup. Nice little back and forth. About 10, 11, maybe 12 minutes, give or take. John Cena making history in Boston by winning this Intercontinental Championship. John Cena has now become a Grand Slam champion. You heard me right. He has become a Grand Slam champion. Just and a major accomplishment, a major feat in itself right there. So, I mean, that's cool, right? That's cool. But I mean, at the same time, it's kind of one of those, okay, so he's essentially going to have this Intercontinental Championship for less than a month, give or take. And he's pretty much going to be losing it right back. Some would definitely ask the question, is him winning this IC championship, is it really, really necessary? I would say no, it's not necessary at all. But if you want to take a step back and you want to look at everything John Cena has accomplished in his illustrious career, more specifically with the WWE, just to hear that this man never won the Intercontinental Championship prior until now. That is just, it's really mind blowing when you really stop and think about it. I mean, really, really, when you stop and think about it. Wait, he's been a 5 time United States champion. You know, he's definitely been a WWE Tag Champion, a World Tag Team Champion. I mean, he has held every other championship there is to be a holding. But this was one title that somehow eluded him. So kudos to the researchers and all that in the back. That's like the statisticians and all that. That's keeping track of information like that. And is going, yo, we gotta hook Cena up here. We got to figure out some type of way to link this to. I'm down with it when it's all said and done. But the match with Dominic Mysterio, extremely fun. We saw some classic John Cena babyface work at its finest here. Some Super Cena indeed. I love seeing Cena just not even hulk up, just no selling the hell some out of some of Dominic's offense and everything. I got hearty little chuckles out of that and everything. And I mean, even seeing John Cena no sell Dom's finish, I'm just going, yeah, Super Cena show, but you know what? The hell with it, man. It's like we're pretty much seeing this dude one last time. Okay, I can let it ride. It is what it is and everything. Um, Also, I love seeing John Cena yelling audibles to Dominic clear as day. Yeah, you got to go back and watch the match. Really, really hilarious here. Um, Look, Dom losing, I'm not concerned about him whatsoever. And to anybody that's going, oh, Dominic's being buried. What is WWE doing? WWE isn't thinking whatsoever when it comes to Dominic Mysterio. Dominic is just fine. I mean, for where this young man is right now in Dominic Mysterio and everything that he has been doing the past 3 years particularly. I mean, my God, the trajectory of this guy. I mean, he just continues. And he hasn't even reached his peak yet. This guy's only 28. And I mean, he just keeps getting better and better. He has done so much, accomplished so much in just a short amount of time. Dominic losing the IC championship, dude is just fine. No concerns with him whatsoever. If anything, the young man's stock just continues to go up, man. Seriously. Backstage, we see John Cena crossing paths with Cody Rhodes to greet each other, shake hands. Rey Mysterio's looking on like a proud papa. No, he's not a papa of John Cena, but he is proud of the fact that Dom lost that damn IC title. He is proud of that. Meanwhile, our last time is now tournament opener. Rusev taking on Damian Priest. Now, you know, I would have thought that with the way this tournament, I would have thought the way this tournament would have been going on, I would have thought that John Cena maybe would have sat at ringside, at least tonight, and have some words to say about, Rusev and Damian Priest. It would have been nice to hear John Cena be on commentary and give some memories on feuding with Rusev and also at the same time putting over Damian Priest, mentioning some of the work that he's seeing from this guy and all that. That would have been kind of nice. Uh, Now, the only way I can kind of push back on that whole ideology I just had is, well, damn, that also means you've got to pretty much do the same thing for SmackDown and then throw it back to Monday Night Raw and then throw it back to SmackDown for their next round of tournaments too. You can make an argument. Well, we're kind of exploiting a little bit of a loophole here with Cena, but I get why WWE really didn't want to go too into the weeds of that whole thing, which is why I think it would have been maybe a better idea if maybe something could have been done where once we know all the participants involved in this tournament, if maybe they somehow could have had John Cena be interviewed remotely, incorporated stuff in some footage, or maybe have him do some narration stuff. I know, oh God, which car is it? There's a car manufacturer he stayed doing commercials for. I'm just going, yeah, he's got to be phoning that in while using his cell phone, or maybe he has like a recording studio at his home, and he's pretty much recording his parts, emailing it that way or whatever. You can kind of do the same thing, but I don't know, it just kind of felt a little bit hollow for me to a certain degree, that we couldn't at least hear him give some thoughts about the time is now opening rounds and everything. But is what it is. Rusev, Damian Priest, solid matchup. Thought it was a pretty good effort by both men. Priest particularly did a really good job. I never really thought that Damian Priest was going to. I never thought that Damian Priest was going to win this tournament. Believe it or not, there was a big part of me that was like, well, this would be a fresh matchup, Cena, but it never really. More and more that I thought about it, it was like, I think the right guy went over, given the history between Rusev and Cena. So I'm definitely, I'm down. I'm down with it. I think they did good with this one. Will Rusev go all the way into the tournament? I don't think so. But the fact that they had Rusev go over in this one, I'm definitely okay with that. Meanwhile, AJ Styles and Dragon Lee bumped into Adam Pearce. They are ready to take on any and all newcomers for their tag titles. Pierce is very happy to hear about that. He wants to cross a couple of X's and O's and get back to them. Meanwhile, he wants to know if they came up with a new name. And Dragon Lee said, yeah, Dragons with Style. AJ, not really a fan of it. Feels like they got some work to do. Says they'll get back to Pierce in regards to that name. Dragons with Style. Little worthy there. Maybe Phenomenal Dragons. How about that? You can always go with that. Meanwhile, Maxine Dupree, who hadn't seen her in a couple of weeks, she catches up with Pierce. Pierce wants to know how her training has gone and if she's ready for that opportunity to face Becky Lynch for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. Maxine says yes to both. So, Pierce makes it official next week, Madison Square Garden. Maxine Dupree gets her shot, gets another crack there at Becky Lynch. Should be a damn good one. Exit Adam Pearce as Maxine is looking on. Jubilant knockout from nowhere sends her flat on her. You know what? As Becky Lynch tells her she doesn't stand a chance next week. So we shall see how that match plays itself out. Meanwhile, CM Punk making his way to the ring. Pretty pissed off at what went down with Logan Paul from last week, closing out Monday Night Raw. Speaking of Logan Paul, heads up for you wrestling figurehead collectors out there. Don't do like my two guys that recently got arrested for stealing a boatload of WWE toys. That's actually a true story. They stole like in the thousands upon thousands of dollars. Go look that story up. So WWE, they revealed that coming up on Black Friday this holiday season, you guys will get another opportunity. If you missed it the last go round, you will get another opportunity. And if you're keeping track at home, this will be your third opportunity to get a hold of some LGN action figures. Now, as many of you guys know, because we've been talking about it off and on here on the show, when the LGN figures were up for grabs, we mentioned how Logan Paul, it's easy to find him. It's almost kind of one of those deals where nobody wants a Logan Paul figure. I mean, I get it. I mean, trust me, I get it and everything, but nobody wants a Logan Paul figure. Meanwhile, the other ones, which the Hulkster, John Cena, Dusty Rhodes, those have been hard to come across each time. But Black Friday, those LGN figures will be up for grabs again. I would imagine it's going to be available through Target because it's kind of like been an exclusive partnership that WWE has had going on and everything. So that is honestly your best bet. Now, before anybody says, well, what about Amazon, Lee? What about Amazon? Well, let's see what happens when we type in LGN wrestling figures on Amazon. Yeah, I don't get none of the new joints that's out right now. So again, it is essentially, till you hear otherwise, the past two times that it's been advertised, it's been a Target exclusive. So take my advice from last time if you didn't do so already, and set your Target account up beforehand with your payment method, all that good stuff, and pretty much be ready to go the night before. Make sure that you're already logged in, you're already on the LGN page, and then that way, when Black Friday rolls around, you'll pretty much be good to go, and you can instantly secure yourself a LGN figure. I'm definitely trying. I gotta admit, I love the polka dot American Dream Dusty Rhodes, so I'm gonna try to see if I can get a hold of that. I also want to try to see if I can get a hold of the John Cena figure as well. Love to see a CM Punk version. Speaking of CM Punk, pretty pissed off again. What had went down last week, and he is fixing not to have a wrestling match. He wants to take it to the streets. He's looking for a fight. Calls out Logan Paul. Logan Paul does come out. How about that? 2 weeks in a row, not even advertised. Logan Paul comes on out there. Paul wonders why Punk is so mad and that he is smarter than the average bear. No, that he's smarter than Punk and smarter than every person in the arena. Talks about how he's been punched by the best in the world, Floyd Mayweather. If that's what we're calling the best in the world. Anyway, talked about also how he got a tsunami by Bronson Reed, and that pretty much made him see and understand the vision, which made Heyman and the Bronsons come out and everything. Punk realizes, okay, well, looks like I'm going to get my ass handed to me, but you know what? That's okay. And WWE did something really cool here that I was not expecting for them to do. Normally, when you got a numbers handicap like that, they cue up music and somebody else comes running out and everything. Well, they didn't do that for Jey Uso, which was really, really cool because just randomly, you just see somebody standing right beside CM Punk and you're wondering, who the hell is that? Is that some random fan? Or, but no, it was Jey Uso just, and I thought that was actually a really, really cool touch and everything. So you had Punk and Jey ready to throw it down. Paul, Bronson's, they're circling the ring. They're about ready to go get them some. Then you hear the music of Cody Rhodes, who comes out there helping balance things out. All the guys, they're brawling for a little bit. Team Punk, Rhodes, Uso stand tall. Shortly afterwards, they come across Adam Pearce. Punk is pretty pissed off. He's pretty much had enough of this. Tells Pearce, look, I think me, Cody, and Jay, I think it's safe to say we want us some of them guys. think we got ourselves a team right here. Go get word to Paul Heyman. Go ahead, tell him to put his team together. Cause yeah, where's William Regal when you need him? And sure enough, William Regal was right there, echoing those trademark words, War Games. Always great seeing William Regal. I miss William Regal. I really, as an on-screen character, I really miss him. I didn't appreciate the choice words that Brian Alvarez had said about Ava. I mean, he does bring up very valid points about the Ava character. Here's where he got his ass handed to him, though, not just by Ava and Ava's fans and WWE fans. He made everything seem as though it was all Ava's fault. He made it all seem like Ava is the one that is forcing WWE writers to try to come up with stuff for her. You know, he's making it seem as though Ava is just running out there with her head cut off and, you know, no purpose, no direction whatsoever. And that is far from the case. You know, a person is only as strong as the creative force that is basically supplying that talent with, you know, hey, we need you to go out, we need you to do this, we need you to do that, make sure you get these points across, you know. So, you know, if Ava is coming off to a Brian Alvarez and anybody else as a weak on-screen character because, oh, well, you know, when you have this go down, and her thought process is, hey, that was bad what you did. So, in order to discipline you, I'm going to give you a world championship opportunity. That's not Ava's fault. That is the fault of whoever is booking the damn thing. Okay? This is where we really need to make sure we differentiate and we really call out who needs to be held accountable here. Ava can only take but so much responsibility, but you know, the main blame of it does definitely rest on the hands of the writers and the creative and all that. Without a doubt, without a doubt. I do miss William Regal though. Women's World Championship match. Stephanie Vaquer defending against Raquel Rodriguez. Vaquer retaining the title. About 8 minutes and change. You know, I thought this match was going to go down better than what I was anticipating. You know, when I first heard this match, I was pretty. I gotta tell you, I wouldn't say I was pretty excited. I wouldn't say that. Just to rewind it back to last week, you guys that were tuning in, if anything, I had said, guys, I'm a little bit kind of miffed over the fact that Raquel Rodriguez is getting this opportunity and it's not Roxanne Perez. Like, if anybody should be getting this opportunity, it should be Roxanne Perez, because Roxanne Perez, after all, she was the one that had picked up the victory, and yet somehow Raquel ends up getting this women's championship opportunity. And I even laid out for you guys how WWE could have easily stayed face and clean that whole thing up as far as, okay, yeah, why isn't it Roxanne Perez getting this opportunity and everything? Go back, rewind, and you'll hear what I had to say as far as how WWE could have easily smoothed that out and everything. But for me, what I was mainly looking at during this match, the chemistry was just off. It never seemed like these two girls really found their pacing, and it never really seemed like they found their groove. And they were doing things. It just kind of seemed like they really weren't comfortable doing that. Maybe they had no business doing. It was definitely rough at the beginning. It was definitely rough, a little bit sloppy. It started to get a little better towards the end. I wouldn't personally mind seeing them maybe run this back again. I do feel there is a part of me that feels they can get better than what we had saw of them tonight. You know, real question though is, does WWE want to have these women continue to run it back? I don't think so, especially given what had happened shortly afterwards. As keep in mind that Nikki Bella was a force that balanced things out here during Vaquer's match against Rodriguez, pretty much negating Roxy as final moments of this matchup here. Just kind of looking a little bit here. Roxanne attacking Stephanie right after, but then Nikki ended up driving her out of the ring. Stephanie, Nikki hugging it out, raising arms and everything. Next thing you know, as Stephanie is celebrating, turns around, Nikki clocks her upside the head with her own belt. Not shocked by that whatsoever. I don't think anybody else is really shocked by that either. Look, all said and done, Nikki Bella has done better work as a babyface. I just can't help but wonder though, in 2025, like if it's really, I don't know. It's interesting because the Nikki Bella WWE return experiment, it has gone as about as flat as Eva Marie making her return to WWE a year or so ago or 2 years ago. It's kind of felt that kind of flatness for me, is what it is. Meanwhile, probably one of these best damn matches of the night. Last time is now tournament opening round. Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura. Sheamus picking up the W in this one. This was freaking badass. And you know what was the big giveaway for this matchup too, by the way? The fact that the announcers were so quick to point out that Sheamus still needed to win the IC title to complete his collection and basically become a Grand Slam champion in his own right here. Was, this was good. This was a guilty pleasure of a match. I love me some Shinsuke Nakamura. And look, I got to tell you something. I don't know why Triple H has not thought about this yet, but I personally would love to see the Kabuki Warriors team up with Shinsuke. I think that's a faction in itself that some amazing things, cool kick-ass things could happen right there. But look, it's rare that we get to see Shinsuke in action. And here tonight, we got to see him lock up with Sheamus and doing some really cool-ass things with one another. Definitely one of the best matches on the card here tonight. Speaking of the Time Is Now tournament, next week we find out that Javon Evans will be going one-on-one against the ring general, the returning Gunther. We've heard a lot of rumblings that Gunther may be John Cena's final opponent. I don't know. I don't know about that one. We'll have to talk more about that later on during the week. Meanwhile, Solo Sikoa, he will be in the next match on Raw next week for the tournament. However, his opponent, we won't find out who it is until live next week, which definitely has a lot of people talking. As far as who I'm thinking it could possibly be, well, I'm just going to have to do like they did and tease you guys. We'll definitely bring it up a little bit more later on because we're definitely going to be doing a bonus show for you guys. I am thinking that bonus show. Well, I tell you what, in regards to that bonus show, let's do it all this Friday. Might as well, because I mean, we got the tournament that's officially going to be starting on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, or the continuation of the tournament on SmackDown this week. So we could definitely bring it up then. Meanwhile, closing out the show for tonight, we had the Women's Tag Team Championship match, Charlotte and Alexa defending against the Kabuki Warriors. Now, Lash Legend and Nia Jax did run a little bit of interference in this one towards the end, pretty much setting up Asuka and Kairi to make a little bit of history of their own as Kabuki Warriors won the tag titles in this main event. I got to tell you, this was a little bit heartbreaking. I did not want to see Charlotte and Alexa lose here, but Kari and Asuka, they're on a little bit of a hot streak, so to speak. And not to mention, the competition has just been popping a little bit more on Raw. SmackDown right now is in dire need of a major shakeup. And when you see the fact that SmackDown couldn't even crack a million viewers, not from last Friday, but the Friday before. I don't think we know right now what the newest numbers are right now, but I know that there were so many people that were very quick to point out on social media last Friday that this SmackDown, like, this is the worst SmackDown of all time. Like, I mean, it was that bad apparently. Yeah, SmackDown definitely needs that injection of new blood and the whole 9 yards. So the fact that you want to take these titles off of Alexa and Charlotte and put it on the Kabuki Warriors, and if anything, kind of have Charlotte and Alexa continue to bounce between shows for the next little bit, I'm actually okay with that. I'm actually okay with that. So post match, after all that had went down, EO Sky's music had hit as Alexa and Charlotte, they continue to get jumped on post match and everything. EO runs down there trying to attack the girls. Kind of gets a little caught up in the mix there. Numbers game is starting to get a little bit heavy on EO when Rhea Ripley comes out. She's got a face mask on and everything, attacking Nia Jax, Lash Legend. Nia's left alone. She's taking a little bit of the offense and everything. So we have Rhea, EO, Alexa, Charlotte as Rhea yells out "War Games." So I guess this is what we're going to be looking forward to on the women's side there as far as the War Games go. So I pretty much had closed out Monday Night Raw. Definitely a couple of low points here and there, in my estimation, but definitely some really good stuff overall. John Cena, Dirty Dominic Mysterio, that definitely was a damn good match. And then Cena winning the IC title, icing on the cake for sure. Let's not also forget we had not one but two really good. The last time is now tournament matches. Definitely the latter one uh, with Shinsuke Nakamura taking on Sheamus. Right, good one there. Uh, Nice development made towards Survivor Series War Games as well, while also at the same time building up towards John Cena's final match at Saturday night's main event next week in Washington, D.C. Definitely some really good progress that's been made on all cylinders. So not too shabby, honestly, not too shabby. I hadn't been this excited for a Monday Night Raw overall in a good while. It's definitely been a couple of months, I would have to say. This one was more along the lines of one of the better, brighter side episodes and everything. So that's that. Let's see. Anything else we need to get into on tonight's show? We're at about the 45-minute mark. Man, we did really good. Did really good. Let's see here. Oh, that's so sad to know. I'm reading something politically a political article that if I read it to you right now, it might go a little bit too into the weeds there. It's entertainment related, but I think I'll save that for another time. I'm seeing something in regards to a real life fight, a real fight that had happened during promo class that Sonya Deville is talking about in regards to Liv Morgan and Mandy Rose. I want to research that a little bit more before I comment on that. Let me tell you this though, in regards to Ridge Holland, you know, I don't have much to say about the whole Ridge Holland thing. I know Ridge Holland, for those of you that don't know, Ridge Holland, that's the guy who was with Pete Dunne and Sheamus when he was doing the whole Brawling Brutes gimmick there for a hot minute. He's also the guy that injured Big E, pretty much put him on the shelf and everything. Ridge Holland had revealed that he was going to be released from his WWE contract coming up around November 14th, November 15th. And okay, he revealed that. All right, cool. No problem. But then apparently Ridge Holland got injured while wrestling Moose. I guess for a TNA taping or whatnot. This did not happen within the WWE universe, the NXT system universe, and all that. This was basically for TNA and all that. And he basically injured a part of his foot. Now, as a result of injuring that part of his foot, was going to have him be sidelined for anywhere from 6 months, maybe even up to a year. Really just depends on the recovery process. You see this same type of injury that will happen to a lot of basketball players. It's definitely happened to a fair share of football players. It's like one of the worst injuries that you can get because it takes, again, it depends on the recovery process, and it could be a long, long, long process and everything, right? I mean, like it's so bad, the recovery process, that if you needed fusion surgery for your neck maybe, but you were told, hey, look, you'll be able to play, like you'll be healing from that much quicker than you would with that type of foot injury that Ridge Holland sustained and everything. So there was some controversial things that Ridge Holland had to say about WWE. Shortly after he found out that he was going to be released from his contract. Normally when injuries like this happen, we've seen it and talked about it here many times on the show where Rey Mysterio, he's trying to get out of his WWE contract, but WWE is going, no, we got to tack on some additional time. We've seen Tony Khan exploit this on certain talents and all that. You just would have thought that maybe WWE was going to go in that direction with Ridge Holland, but with Holland, they didn't. Instead, they saw some of the stuff that he had to say on social media, particularly about WWE, which was not flattering at all. And WWE decided, okay, since he's going to say that, well, let's go ahead and let's just get rid of him right now. Was it a pretty scummy, shady, jacked up thing to do and all that? Oh, yes. Well, 1,000%. Like, there's no dispute about that. It was pretty messed up what they did. But when these wrestlers are signing their contracts and all that, with WWE, the language that is in that contract, it's pretty much in there, clear as day. Remember, we went over a WWE contract many years ago, and not much of the language has changed per se, but definitely, hey, taking the social media and saying unflattering, unpopular, basically talking about the company, the employer in a negative light. Yeah, that is a big, big, big no no. So, this isn't one of those, it sucks to be you. That's not the direction I'm going. I feel the guy's frustration. It's messed up, but still, no matter what, even if that's how they wanted to operate, you don't just go, well, you know what, since they're going to do me like this, F them. I'm going to go on ahead and I'm gonna say my 2 cents. No, that's the last thing that you want to do, because by doing that, you put yourself in a really bad position. Where, look, if WWE wanted to, because of that loophole that Holland created, WWE could easily go, okay, well, since you're doing that, you know what? Since you said these things, guess what? We're not even going to take care of your rehab. We're not even going to take care of, like, nah, you can pretty much just fend for yourself. Now, a GoFundMe was created for this guy shortly afterwards. And here's where it gets really, really interesting. It turns out this GoFundMe was created by a family member. And apparently, this family member somehow did not communicate with Ridge beforehand, even get permission about this GoFundMe. As a couple of days went past after this GoFundMe was being shared all over the place. I mean, we even had Chelsea Green. I'm trying to think who else had contributed, because Chelsea Green pledged that she was going to do like $1,000 a month. There's like a couple of other wrestlers that were pledging $1,000 a month. So when it was all said and done, before Ridge Holland ended up commenting, um, it got like about over $10,000. Ridge reveals that a family member who created this uh, crowdfunding page did not run it by him. And, by not running it by him, decided that by not running it by him, it created, without a doubt, a very bad situation. And he was going to take all the money that was being given to him, and basically he was going to give it to charity. So many people were looking at this, and all I could think about was, wow, we've got all these people that are in our country right now. There we go. If you see me doing weird hand gestures, it's because I'm trying to figure out how to get my there we go. I was trying to get my camera stabilized again, because somehow I did something where I activated tracking. Anyway, I'm looking at all this stuff that's going on in the United States right now. We've got a lot of people that are not working right now because of the government shutdown. Uh, we went into we went into day after day after day after day after day. And I'm happy to say to you guys now, as it looks like within the past hour, the Senate finally approved a bill to end the shutdown. So the shutdown has now ended after 41 days. But just look at what was going on leading up to finally the shutdown ending. So many Americans, particularly relying on SNAP benefits, um, and they weren't able to get those SNAP benefits in a timely manner. And trust me, if this would have went on, the shutdown, if this would have went on for another week or 2 weeks, ooh, it definitely would have played a significant impact on traveling, because you have so many people that work TSA at the airports and all that. These people are working without a paycheck right now, and since they're not working without a paycheck, they got to do what they got to do to make sure they're able to feed themselves, their family, continue to have lights on, a roof over their head. They're going to do what they got to do. If that means they got to go with some gig work, gig economy work or whatever, they're going to do what they need to do. And so there's a lot of families that's was in pretty dire straits, right? So to see all this money that was coming in for this Ridge Holland, GoFundMe, I just couldn't help it to go, wow, all these people that are just donating all this money, I'd like to see that same energy be applied to those that are really really hurting and could definitely benefit from the act of kindness from strangers, these same strangers that are donating what they're donating to Rich Holland. And I'm going, wait a minute, I've never heard of Rich Holland being reckless with his money. I've heard that this guy was, kind of smart and everything with his money. Now, Rich Holland did put himself in a very unique position because when it came time, he originally he was actually going to get let go by the WWE, but the way he ended up kind of structuring his deal with the WWE, it pretty much was a case where, look, I'll take less amount of X money. I don't know the exact figures, but he took a significant pay cut. It was pretty much a prove it kind of deal. So, and you can't help but respect that because you're going, okay, so this guy is basically gonna bank on himself. He's looking at this TNA partnership and he's kind of salivating, going, oh, I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna show them, they definitely are sleeping on me, which is good. Let me do this. I'll make up what I need to make up, in other areas. And, hey, look, I got X amount of money tucked away. I'm playing it smart. This will be a good move for me. I'm getting even more exposure because I'm doing my thing in NXT. Now I'm doing my thing in TNA. It's a win-win situation for me, especially if eventually I can get brought back to the main roster and I can get the same amount of money that I was making before, if not even more. Okay, all right, cool. So you're banking on yourself basically. That's exactly what he was doing and everything. Kind of dangerous territory to be playing in and all that. And you can't help but respect what Holland was doing with that thought process and all that. But if you are to, after all of this, if you are to have me, oh, isn't it just sad? Isn't it just sadly what's happening with Ridge Holland? Isn't it just? I go, well, goddamn. This is the same guy that injured Big E, a guy that should have been by now at least a three-time world heavyweight champion. I just think about how this young man's career, how this young brother's career was cut. His in-ring career, that is, was cut so short. And if WWE would have been within their right to just find any old damn thing to fire Holland, just off of that alone, they would have been well within their right. And yet they continue to have Holland be on the payroll years later. And I'm supposed to feel sorry for Ridge Holland? I mean, when you really take a step back, I mean, it's not being callous, it's not being heartless. It's just when you really take a step back and you think about this, you can't help but look at the people that were coughing up $1,000 and all this and go, wait, we're supposed to feel sorry for this guy. And then meanwhile, like the same, I'm thinking about the wrestling fans. I'm thinking about the wrestling fans that, are maybe in a situation where and maybe some are still continuing to face some type of financial dire straits. Now, granted, some of these people that donated to Ridge Holland, or they thought they were donating to Ridge Holland, they may have the type of hearts that, no, 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 I practice what I preach. The same energy that I put in this area when I cough up some money, I do it over here in this area as well. God bless you is what I have to say. If you're rolling like that, God bless you. But I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way just seeing that. And then to find out with icing on the cake that Rich Holland did not even make that GoFundMe. He didn't even authorize that GoFundMe. And yet everybody and their mama was just so quick to cough up money to this. It's a prime example. That's why, I tell you, I've been asked so many times off and on over the years. Hey, would you promote this GoFundMe? Hey, would you promote this Kickstarter? Hey, would you? And I always go, no, 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 no. I only GoFundMe's I am interested in are for major celebrities, wrestlers that maybe are truly down and out, on their luck. They needed like some significant surgery like yesterday and all of that. And I like particularly when I see that a family member helps that wrestler make that GoFundMe, and then the next thing you know, there is a video that is released where, hey, blah 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 is aware of this GoFundMe. They're authorizing it. As a matter of fact, here's this video of them talking, or it's shared on their official social media pages. Only after I've seen that official connection will I go out of my way and that crowdfunding uh, effort. But unless I see a situation like that and the individual involved, okay, yeah, they definitely are in a really, really bad situation here. They need all the help they can get. Both of those got to be hand in hand for me in order for me to promote it. Because, if it's not rolling like that, I'm not interested in promoting it. That's just me. That's just me. Because my whole thing is, look, there's definitely more things that I can do with my respected platform, because I'm kind of like an echo chamber to a certain extent with the information I'm putting out there and all that. I want to make sure that I'm putting that energy and time in the right areas, right? Rather than just be trying to jump on something because, oh, well, everybody else is doing it. So you got that whole fear of missing out. No, no, no. I'm not interested in any of that. Relatively quiet as far as other wrestling news related stuff goes and all that. Honestly, we can get into a big bulk of everything coming up on the Friday show. But there's loads more we could definitely get into. We definitely need to poke our heads in TNA, talk a little NXT, talk some AEW as well while we're at it. But in the meantime, I definitely want to take some time out and give some shout out to some of our sponsors, because without them, content like what you're checking out right now would not be made possible. Yo, shout out to our listeners for on demand and on the downloads. You guys have been representing big time. I was checking out the numbers for the podcast over the weekend, and it looks like we ended up uh, quadrupling our numbers from the past week for downloads. So appreciate you guys. Keep up the good work. Love it. Love it when you guys are checking out the show on demand, on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts, be it iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Apple Music, Spotify. Love you guys. Love you guys. Brought to you in part by our friends over at justmovieposters.com. Holidays are here. Don't let your walls be blank any longer. Head on over to justmovieposters.com for awesome movie posters. Transform your space. Show off your fandom and banish the bareness once and for all. Follow Just Movie Posters on Twitter at JM Posters. You can also reach them on Facebook at Just Movie Posters, DOTCOM. We're also brought to you in part by TerraPaulPremium.com. Wake up your senses with bold flavor and smooth vibes. TerraPaul Premium brings you top tier coffee and teas crafted for people who love quality, energy, and good taste. From rich blends to chill herbal sips, they've got your daily fuel covered. Check them out today, TerraPaulPremium.com. The RCWR show with Lee Sanders is also brought to you in part by I Want to Learn SQL.com. Get started with confidence in learning SQL today. Your next pivot in tech begins with a solid query. Learning SQL is practical, approachable, and actually fun. If you're ready to level up your game, head over to iwanttolearnsql.com. Last but not least, the RCWR show with Lee Sanders is brought to you in part by IME, iRadio Station, streaming 24/7. Your global soundtrack featuring the hottest indie artists 90s to 2000 throwbacks, and top 40 hits. Think of it as a world tour, but for your ears. Tune in, vibe out, discover your next favorite track, hear music streaming from all around the world, including Europe, Canada, definitely the USA. Check them out streaming 24/7, the IME radio station. Shout out to our new listeners, longtime supporters of the show. Big thanks to our Patreon backers, everyone that's been checking us out all throughout social media. Once again, check out episodes of the RCWR show available on Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, and beyond. Keep the RCWR show moving strong. And yeah, your next edition of the RCWR show will be coming at you. Mark it down. I'll definitely be live on the air. I'll be coming at you on Friday, November 14th. We'll come on after SmackDown. Let's do it that way. We'll come on after SmackDown. I wish I would have been on last Friday, but I was so busy with so many class projects. You guys hopefully understand what was all going on, and you can forgive me. But now that things are getting much, much lighter, mark that down. Definitely Friday, November 14th, 10 p.m. Eastern, after SmackDown goes off the air. In the meantime, I want you guys to be kind, rewind, check out previous episodes. You might have been on demand and on the downloads, wherever you get your podcasts. Just search the RCWR show. You can also find me all throughout social media using the same keywords. If you haven't already shown the YouTube channel, make sure you show that a lot of love. Definitely got some new foodie reviews going to be uploading on that bad boy this week. So tune in for that. And until next go round, my pretty babies, wishing all of y'all to be safe. Most importantly, be kind to one another. I'll see you guys next go round. Take care.